In my opinion, this is the most important concept in game design, and probably while I'm describing it, you will think I'm just describing the video game experience in general, but originally it's much broader thing. The reason I think it's so important is that once you understand this concept, you essentially understand the core of game design, and from that you will be able to build a foundation for a game of any size and shape. This concept explains why games like Assassin's Creed, Stardew Valley, Skyrim and many others are so hard to put down. This is a video about flow. So, what's flow? The concept was described by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He originally studied artists. He noticed that they could work on a painting for hours, forgetting about food and sleep, but lost all interest the moment the work was finished. The motivation was the process itself, not the result. Later, he found the same state in surgeons, chess players, rock climbers and called it flow. When a person is in flow, several things happen. They are fully concentrated on what they are doing. Their actions feel automatic. They don't think about what they do next, they just do it. They lose track of time, they stop being self-conscious. They feel in control of the situation, and the process itself becomes the reward. Sounds familiar, right? It happens when several conditions are met. The first condition is the balance between difficulty and ability. Too easy, boring. Too hard, frustrating. In between, there is a narrow zone, where the brain is working at full capacity without stress. This is called the flow channel. You can find exactly the same graph in many game design books, but with a different name, the difficulty curve. What the graph means is that a game should get harder at roughly the same rate the player gets better. In Celeste, for example, each screen teaches one mechanic. The player learns it, and right after that, the game adds a complication, a new obstacle, a tighter timing window, a combination of previously learned elements. The idea is the player doesn't get stuck for long, but they are never on autopilot either. It's important that the curve isn't linear. Constant rising difficulty is exhausting. That's why good games alternate intense segments with calm ones. This gives the player time to recover before the next challenge on the way to their goal. And that's the second condition of flow state. Goals should be clear and achievable. The player must understand what's expected of them at any given moment, like in Assassin's Creed, where you always have a target. The game breaks this into steps: to go to this district, gather intel, plan the approach, and execute the plan. Each step is clear, and each one leads to the next. You are never wondering what to do. Now, you might say, what about games like Stardew Valley? Actually, it works almost the same way, but in sandboxes players create goals themselves. The game just provides direction and feedback. Feedback, by the way, is the third condition of the flow state. The player needs to know their actions have a result and see that result instantly. At the basic level, this is soil getting darker when you water it, crops growing a little taller each day, sound effects for every swing and harvest, trees shaking when you hit them, anything that confirms an action was performed. At a deeper level, these are systems that respond to the player's behavior. Grow high-margin crops in short cycles, you will upgrade your house and expand your farm faster. When all three conditions are aligned, the only thing that game designers should do is to lower friction, so the flow never breaks. Loading screens, clunky menus, confusing level design, horrible optimization, all of this pulls the player out of focus and breaks immersion. And when it happens constantly, a game stops being fun and becomes annoying. That's it on the flow. As you can see, it's a desirable state for any game designer, because that's when the player enjoys the process. To achieve it, game designers need to balance difficulty, set clear goals, and constantly provide feedback. That's a solid foundation for any game, and that's why I think it's the most important concept in game design. Hope you find this video interesting, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comment section. See you in the next one.